Ready to dive deep into Leviticus? Let's unlock ancient wisdom about holiness and worship. Leviticus guides you through God's laws given to Moses on Mount Sinai for his people. You'll meet priests who teach about offerings, how to approach God with the right heart. Ever wonder why detailed rules about food existed? Leviticus shows clean versus unclean foods. It teaches how purity shapes your daily life, from what you eat to how you care for your body. Leviticus isn't just rules, it's about connecting deeply with God's holiness every day. The Day of Atonement is a highlight, an annual cleanse of sins to restore your relationship with God. Imagine a day dedicated entirely to forgiveness and renewal. That's a powerful spiritual reset. Leviticus also teaches fairness. Honesty in business and caring for the poor shows your heart. Ever heard of the Jubilee year? It resets debts and frees slaves. Talk about second chances. Leviticus calls you to live pure to reflect God's nature, holy in your actions, words, and heart. It also warns, avoiding sin preserves your community and your own well-being. Ever feel overwhelmed by rules? Leviticus wants you to understand God's order brings freedom. God's holiness shown here invites you to share in His perfection and love. Celebrate the sacredness of life. Leviticus teaches respect for all living things. You'll find rules around cleanliness to protect you physically and spiritually. Ever wonder how ancient laws relate now? They echo through history, guiding moral life today. Leviticus reminds you that worship is active. Your choices impact your spiritual journey daily. You're invited to honor God with your whole life, not just rituals or tradition. Leviticus's laws were tough, but served to teach respect, justice, and community care. You'll see how holiness isn't a distant idea. It's a call to daily integrity. The sacrificial system might seem strange now, but it showed God's mercy and justice balancing out. You can learn how ritual and faith shape identity. Ancient Israel became God's special people here. Leviticus teaches purity of body and spirit, guidelines for health that matter even now. You're encouraged to honor your parents and keep promises, beautiful values that build strong lives. Imagine living in a tribe where justice meant making things right for everyone involved. That's why Leviticus stresses fairness, kindness, and speaking truth every day. It even includes special celebrations to remind you of God's covenant and faithfulness. You get a glimpse of how ancient communities marked sacred times to stay connected. Rules on proper worship help you focus on God without distraction, respecting His holiness. Leviticus might feel strict, but its heart is love, showing you how valuable you are to God. It's like an ancient manual for living an honorable life filled with respect and devotion. How do you apply these lessons today? By embracing respect, purity, and fairness in your world. Leviticus invites you to be holy, just as God is holy, a high but beautiful calling. Remember, holiness isn't about being perfect, it's about growing closer to the divine. The sacrifices remind you that forgiveness requires both mercy and responsibility. Each rule points you to live with integrity that blesses your community and yourself. You'll find respect for the vulnerable woven deep into Leviticus's laws. God's holiness calls you to be set apart, making ethical choices that reflect divine love. Leviticus takes you on a journey from fear of sin to joy in being forgiven and renewed. It's a story of how laws shape not just behavior, but identity and relationship with God. Leviticus's lessons echo in your life, inviting holiness through love, justice, and care. So what can you take from this ancient book? A call to live intentionally and pure. Discover the beauty of sacred traditions that still inspire millions worldwide today. Leviticus's commands may seem old, but their heart beats with timeless wisdom. You're invited to experience holiness not as a burden, but a joyful way of life. This book teaches you to align your life with God's heart and become a blessing to others. So get ready to explore Leviticus, an ancient guide to sacred living that's still alive. Thanks for watching. Dive into Leviticus and discover new layers of faith and holiness. Like, share, and explore more ancient wisdom with us. Your journey starts now.